Coming up, we tell you how Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteers got prepared for Typhoon Matmo. We get an in-depth look on how severe storm systems endangers Taiwan's bridges. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. Prior to the arrival of Typhoon Matmo, Tzu Chi volunteers in Hualien and Taipei mobilized to check up on care recipients. In Taipei City, volunteers visited veterans in Fanlan community with peace charms and blessings, while in Hualien County, volunteers traveled to Fuxing New Village, Rongguang community, and Tongmen tribe with emergency kits and instant noodles.
We have prepared this emergency kit for you. If you need to be evacuated, it will come in handy.
To make sure care recipients are ready before the storm, Tzu Chi volunteers visit with daily necessities and Tzu Chi's instant noodles.
We have prepared emergency kits and instant noodles for our care recipients. Many of them live in the Tongmen and Rongshu tribes. Both areas are prone to natural disasters such as landslides. Most of the time, residents will be asked to evacuate.
Despite the heavy rainfall, Hualien Tzu Chi volunteers visit the low-lying Fuxing New Village to check on residents and their typhoon preparedness.
If the typhoon hits, you need to go to a safer place.
Besides caring for care recipients, Tzu Chi volunteers also remind neighbors to look out for one another. Meanwhile, in Taipei City, Tzu Chi volunteers visit veterans living in Fanlan community to hand out peace charms. Touched by volunteers' gesture, one senior immediately ties the charm to his shirt.
This peace charm puts my heart at ease and is something that I want others to see. If I put it in my pocket, nobody can see it.
As this community was hard hit by a typhoon last year, residents have already set up floodgates and sandbags in front of their homes. Upon seeing the volunteers, this 88-year-old senior who's diagnosed with pancreatic cancer breaks into a smile. The senior happily shows the volunteers his garden and home.
Some of the seniors here have trouble hearing, so they might miss our phone calls. So we decided to come here instead to remind them to stay indoors when the typhoon hits.
Thank you for caring for us all these years. My heart is filled with warmth.
As the holy month of Ramadan is soon coming to an end for Muslims across the globe, Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia held a celebration at the Tzu Chi Bataan Liaison Office for 70 care recipients. But first, we go to the Al Fakir Islamic School, where volunteers prepared vegetarian meals and games for students.
At the Al Fakir Islamic School in Indonesia, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding an iftar celebration for students. During one of the games, students carefully pass out marbles to their classmates with spoons.
I am very thankful that Tzu Chi volunteers came here to celebrate iftar with us. The games were very fun and helped increase our knowledge.
Besides preparing games for students, Tzu Chi volunteers also brought vegetarian food and supplies for them to show their love and care, which is deeply appreciated. Meanwhile, at the Tzu Chi Batam Liaison Office, Tzu Chi volunteers held a similar celebration for care recipients. During the event, volunteers put on a skit to remind them that love can overcome religious differences.
Although Eid al-Fitr is not here yet, people from different religious backgrounds are here to celebrate the holiday with us. All of them respect our religion. We are celebrating the coming of Eid al-Fitr with the Muslims. We want members of the public to know that there is no boundary between faiths. We are one big family.
Thanks to the event, participants have realized that regardless of race or faith, with love and forgiveness in our hearts, everyone can live harmoniously together.
In preparation for this year's winter relief distribution in China, Tzu Chi volunteers began early by surveying the country's poorest regions. Last week, a group of volunteers in Henan province visited Maye village in Changyuan County and Guicun village in Xuchang County. Most residents are seniors living on government subsidies, and from what the volunteers have seen, they clearly need assistance.
In Maye village of Henan province, the owner of this home has trouble coming out, while most visitors don't want to go in. Liu Fengtang, who is over 70 years old, lives here alone. The root of the foul odor in this cluttered home are several maggot and mildew-infested trash cans.
When we lifted up the trash cans, there were maggots inside. The liquid inside reeked. They must have sat there forever. We are helping him clean them up.
Volunteers fearlessly took care of the biohazard and washed out the trash cans.
As we were leaving, he held onto my hand and asked me when we will return to help him clean his trash cans again. I think he trusts us as if we are his family members. It is probably because we have treated him like family.
慈济，台湾，我是台湾同胞。
At another home, the nearly blind Grandpa Zhang tightly holds onto a volunteer's hands and cries.
To help those who cannot afford dental care to receive treatment, the Tzu Chi Australia chapter held a dental clinic at the Black Youth College in Sydney. The free clinic was joined by dentist Stephen and his son, who realized the importance of cherishing his own blessings.
This is the scene at the Black Youth College in Sydney. Today, the Tzu Chi Australia chapter is holding a dental-free clinic for needy residents. To provide recipients with quality dental care, most of the equipment used was shipped all the way from Brisbane. Despite the cold weather, everyone works hand in hand, including dentist Stephen and his son.
He's been probably comfortable for last 17 years, and I want to show him the other side of the life, where there's people struggles. People do not have what we enjoy as every day.
Joining Tzu Chi's free dental clinic for the very first time, Stephen's son has realized the meaning of the phrase, "It is more blessed to give than to receive."
From this kind of experience and just giving for free and doing this, even if it's only maybe one time in a year, it's something really good, and I think something that I'll try and focus my job on and stuff like that. Yeah.
Tzu Chi's also sets up a booth where recipients who receive dental care could write down their gratitude. Many of those who received Tzu Chi's help last year also seized the chance to donate their filled bamboo coin banks. 82-year-old Herbie Nicholas was one, donating his love to celebrate his diamond wedding anniversary.
I will be 60 years wedding this month.
Oh, congratulations!
I donated the first time I come here, and you were so appreciative of it. And plus, I'm so appreciated that you can take your time out to come and help people. You know, we can't afford to go to the dentist.
In 2 days, Tzu Chi's free dental clinic provided treatments such as scaling and tooth filling for 100 residents, giving many a brighter smile and a brighter future.
Typhoon Matmo has left Taiwan without causing too much damage, and fortunately, no severe flooding occurred. This means many of the nation's unsafe bridges have survived another typhoon. We have prepared this report to help you understand why Taiwan's bridges are afraid of typhoons.
As floodwaters flush down the rivers, they cause serious vertical erosion, lowering the riverbed.
Just what did Typhoon Toraji do to the Galmei Bridge?
After the flood, you could see how much of caisson was exposed. It's the foundation of the pier.
This is the Hofeng Bridge in July of 2008. The foundation of one of its piers had been exposed. 2 months later, when Typhoon Shinlaku struck, catastrophe happened. The raging torrents pounded mercilessly on the exposed foundations, knocking down the support, which set off a chain reaction. Extreme rainfall due to climate change not only tests the durability of Taiwan's bridges, but also transforms the island's rivers. Rivers downstream are being deepened due to erosion, while aggradation is occurring upstream due to landslides and mudslides, which elevate the riverbeds.
I'm on the Longhua Bridge in Xinyi Township, Nantou County. The riverbed has been elevated by nearly 2 stories and is basically touching the bottom of the bridge. This mark here is left by debris flowing down the river. The bridge is in a precarious situation.
Whenever we see the river overflow and inundate the bridge, we get nervous as we are crossing.
The bridge is listed as dangerous not because of its structural integrity, but its location. Just 500 meters upstream, hundreds of tons of debris are ready to wash down at any time.
This is the Hese River. In front over there is the Token River. The debris brought down by the Token River has formed an alluvial fan here. It could become a landslide that threatens the Longhua Bridge and townships downstream.
Traveling upstream, the riverbed is full of debris. The Senmu Bridge of Senmu Village was once submerged beneath the riverbed. Though now excavated, it is listed as unsafe and must be closed off if a typhoon nears.
We're worried. We don't stay here when it rains.
Severe climate has put all of Taiwan's bridges at risk.
The change to Taiwan's landscape due to mudslides will only intensify, not lessen, in the next 300 to 350 years.
In response, engineers began researching ways to reinforce Taiwan's bridges 6 years ago.
This is the new pier. Its foundation, its caisson, is buried deep below. We have completely replaced the old pier by building a new one that can withstand raging torrents and also earthquakes.
However, advancement in architectural design will not solve the problem at its root. Both the nature of Taiwan's mountains and rivers also needs to be taken into consideration.
We should let nature run its course and let things play out naturally. Perhaps in several years, floods will be able to carry the debris downstream, and everything will balance out.
The safety standards of Taiwan's bridges will have to be raised due to climate change, so no more lives will be lost because of bridge failure.
Recently in Malaysia, at the Tzu Chi Phuket Mertajam Liaison Office, a training seminar was held for 99 residents, 56 of whom were first-time participants. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines managed to hold training seminars amid their scheduled rice distributions in Tacloban City of Leyte Province. At the conclusion of the event, the first group of gray uniform volunteers from Leyte Province was born. With Typhoon Matmo's intrusion, heavy rain pours down on Tacloban in the Philippines, but it does not douse the fire in the hearts of some 900 local residents.
There are strong winds and rain, but because today is the Tzu Chi Volunteer Training Seminar, I gladly came here to participate.
Tzu Chi held volunteer training seminars simultaneously in 2 local universities to invite residents to learn more about Tzu Chi, starting from adopting a vegetarian diet. After watching a video of how animals are slaughtered for food, participants look within themselves on how to alleviate further suffering.
Vegetarianism is good for your health because it can help us avoid illness. By eating vegetarian meals, we can also cut expenses too.
The next day, Tzu Chi's gray uniform and white hat was presented to those who have completed the required training. In total, 54 residents are welcome to the Tzu Chi family.
I'm crying from joy because I'm officially a member of the Tzu Chi family. I couldn't help it, I got emotional.
I am moved by them. I see so much of myself in them. A disaster brought me to Tzu Chi as well.
Being on the Tzu Chi path is a blessing for all those who walk it.
Meanwhile, in Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers at the Phuket Mutajam Liaison Office also held a volunteer training seminar for 99 trainees. Among them was Zhang Jinping, who studied in Taiwan 24 years ago.
I didn't think much about it when I first filled out the form, but then in 2013, Tzu Chi called me and said I was a match for someone in need. It's really amazing. Filling out the stem cell donation paperwork some 20 years ago and getting a phone call about it 20 years later, I truly feel that Tzu Chi does not joke around.
During their first lessons, besides learning how to honor the Buddha, trainees are introduced to Tzu Chi's etiquette.
In our self-cultivation, if we don't humble ourselves, we're only helping others cultivate their wisdom. We ourselves will not gain any wisdom in the process.
With a common goal of doing good in the world, these new recruits, whether in Malaysia or the Philippines, have taken the first step in walking the Tzu Chi path. Heavy storms in March devastated many parts of Klang, Malaysia. Tzu Chi volunteers soon came to the aid of those residents in need in Taman Junta community in Kapar's Parapat village. Forming deep affinities with disaster survivors, many took to adopting Tzu Chi's environmental concepts and started collecting recyclables. Seeing how much recyclables was collected each time, earlier in July, volunteers helped set up a recycling point for the residents. For the first time at Kapar's Parapat village, Klang Tzu Chi volunteers are working hand in hand with Taman Junta community residents during their monthly recycling day.
Back then, they were affected by a heavy storm, so Tzu Chi gave them some aid supplies to help them get back on their feet.
Tzu Chi's affinity with members of this community began following a storm in March. The good affinity also led to the establishment of a new recycling point.
You ini bagi kita, you tak ada duit.
Tak apa. You anggap pakai tu kimia.
After we get them aid, the residents felt that they could collect recyclables to repay Tzu Chi. Afterwards, volunteers saw how much they have collected, so they quickly established this recycling point to help.
Inta Rani's husband is unable to work due to his dialysis treatments. Thus, the family makes ends meet by selling recyclables. However, today, the couple has brought bags full of bottles and cans here.
When the storm blew our roof off, your organization came to provide us with food.
Buddhists have been helping people, and we want to do the same as well.
Acknowledging Tzu Chi's message on environmental conservation, Muniwari is helping to manage this new collection point.
We have committed so many bad deeds in the past. We threw away a lot of plastic as garbage. Many of the time, it is incinerated. Environmental awareness is about protecting our planet. Our planet is our home.
Before, these residents were in the arms of Tzu Chi volunteers, helpless from the devastation of a disaster. Today, these survivors are reciprocating by caring for the planet and reducing the burden on Mother Earth. For Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteer Ye Chunlan, watching DaAi TV helped her reach a turning point in life that lifted her out of the pit of despair and brought her into the light. 8 years ago, Ye Chunlan took on a job at a construction site in order to support her family, but a tragic accident robbed her of her left arm. Frustrated and depressed, Ye once thought about ending her life. However, after watching Master Zhenyan's teachings on DaAi TV, Ye no longer underestimates herself, but lives life to her fullest potential.
Here at the Tzu Chi Nehu grounds, volunteers work swiftly in the scorching heat to complete blankets destined for the southern African country of Zimbabwe.
I lean against the table to straighten the blanket. Once it's straightened, we fold it over like this.
Taking a closer look, Tzu Chi volunteer Ye Chunlan is missing her left arm. However, her precision and accuracy is no less than the other volunteers.
My mother-in-law had just passed away at the time, since there was nobody for me to look after and my husband was making an unstable income. I decided to take on a job at the construction site. I had to reach out to touch the machine, but the staff upstairs didn't know that and turned the machine on. My whole arm was dragged into the machine. When I returned home from the hospital, faced with the things that awaited me, that was when the problems arose, because I am left-handed.
The tragic accident overshadowed the family's happiness, and Ye's emotions became a ticking time bomb.
I attempted to do the household chores, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. I would lose my temper. I couldn't even clean or wash the vegetables. There was nothing I could do. I lost my temper and began throwing things around. I lived like this for about 1 to 2 years. For me, life seemed to have lost its meaning. I was constantly depressed, and I just wanted to end my life.
Having thought that her life had hit rock bottom, one day by chance, Ye came across Master Zhenyan's teachings that struck a chord in her heart.
The Master tells us not to underestimate our ability, as everyone has unlimited potential. I realized then that there is still so much I can do. I merely lost one arm, but I still have my whole life ahead of me.
With a change in mindset, Ye now walks the Tzu Chi path more steadfast than ever. At events big or small, Ye can be seen spreading her positive energy and bringing encouragement to others in similar situations as herself.
What moves me the most is that she is always willing to take on more. She is much braver than I was when I was certified.
Under the encouragement of volunteers, Ye also agreed to oversee recycling responsibilities at the Tzu Chi Nehu grounds.
I put it between my legs and tear the pages one by one. It goes very quickly. You have to do a bit at a time. Tearing paper is the fastest to get right. The more I do it, the happier I feel. I don't feel so troubled now. In the end, I forget that I only have one arm. Although Typhoon Matmo cut through Taiwan quickly, the winds and rains were no less severe. At the end of the show, we take a look at the cleanup effort in Taipei City on July 23rd, as many trees were blown over during the night the typhoon landed. Thank you for watching the show. Goodbye.